Welcome. I'm Emma, and this is How to Speak English Fluently Like a Native. Imagine standing in a room full of fluent speakers, every word flowing smoothly, but you're silent, struggling, feeling lost. What if that could change forever? Chapter 1. The Dream of Speaking Like a Native. Emma dreamt of speaking English like a native. In meetings, she imagined herself talking fluently, her accent undetectable. She'd often replay scenarios, imagining the perfect, confident words flowing effortlessly. Each time, she'd stay quiet, listening intently, afraid to speak. A voice inside pushed her, saying, "What if they laugh at my mistakes?" Emma longed to break free from her fear, to finally speak freely. One morning her boss announced, "Emma, we need you for the presentation." Shocked, Emma's heart raced. "In English," she whispered. "Yes," her boss replied confidently. This was her moment, but was she ready? Emma felt a spark. "I'll do it," she replied bravely. It wasn't just about work anymore. It was her chance to prove she could be fluent, to break free from her doubts. She recorded herself, practicing phrases again and again. Each word was another step toward her goal. She even watched interviews of native speakers, trying to catch every subtle tone. Days passed, and her confidence grew. But doubt still whispered, "What if you stumble?" Her hands would shake, her heartbeat racing whenever she thought of speaking aloud. Finally, the day arrived. As she stood before her colleagues, Emma felt a wave of calm. She took a deep breath, letting her hours of practice fuel her courage. Emma opened her mouth, and words began to flow. Her voice was steady, clear, confident. It was almost like she had stepped into her dream. As Emma spoke, she noticed something extraordinary. They were listening, captivated. Her English wasn't just understood, it was powerful. She was finally speaking like a native. Afterward, her colleagues applauded, her boss smiled, and Emma felt an overwhelming surge of pride. She had done it. The journey wasn't over, but Emma knew now she was unstoppable. The dream wasn't just about speaking like a native. It was about finding her voice, discovering courage, and realizing that fluency wasn't a distant goal, it was possible. Chapter 2. The First Failures. Emma thought she was ready until her words betrayed her. Emma dived into learning, determined to improve her English fluency. She watched countless videos, practiced daily, and filled notebooks with notes. She felt progress. "Maybe this time I'll speak perfectly," she thought. Slowly, Emma's fears faded as she imagined herself speaking fluently. One morning, her boss asked her to introduce a project in English. This was her big moment, a chance to finally prove herself. Emma was nervous, but hopeful. She prepared all night, rehearsing every phrase. Standing before her team, Emma took a deep breath and started. But as the words came out, her mind went blank, phrases jumbled, and mistakes slipped out. Emma saw confusion in her colleagues' faces, and her confidence shattered. She stammered, lost in a whirlwind of self-doubt, barely finishing her sentences. "Why can't I do this?" she asked herself, holding back tears. The gap between her dreams and her reality felt enormous. She replayed her mistakes, wondering if she'd ever speak fluently. Each word she'd struggled to say echoed painfully in her mind. That night, she sat down, exhausted yet determined. "I'll try again," she promised herself, gripping her notebook tightly. Emma wrote down every mistake, determined to learn from them. She realized her focus had been on perfection, not communication. The next day, Emma shifted her focus to clarity, not flawlessness. She practiced speaking slowly, embracing her imperfections with newfound courage. Though still a bit shaken, Emma felt a spark return. Her failures were no longer obstacles. They were stepping stones. Emma smiled, her heart lighter than before. She realized each failure was a lesson guiding her one step closer to her goal. Emma's journey wasn't about avoiding mistakes. It was about embracing them. She understood now. Fluency would come, not through perfection, but through persistence and self-compassion. Chapter 3. Meeting a Mentor. Just when Emma felt lost, a guiding voice appeared. Emma bumped into Michael, a colleague known for his fluent English. He, too, had once struggled, but now spoke confidently and smoothly. "You're learning English?" he asked, noticing her notes and language apps. Emma nodded, embarrassed, admitting her fears and frustrations. Michael shared, "I know how it feels to struggle with English." He'd once faced the same doubts, but had found a way through. "Don't aim for perfection," he advised. "Aim for progress little by little." Michael's words gave her hope, a new perspective she hadn't considered. Michael explained, "Immerse yourself. Surround yourself with English every day." He suggested small changes, listening to podcasts, thinking in English, even narrating her day. Emma was intrigued. She'd never thought about creating a full immersion. She realized that fluency wasn't just about studying. It was about living the language. He encouraged her, "Speak to yourself in English, even if it's simple." This practice, he said, would build her confidence and get her used to thinking in English. Michael added, "Stop fearing mistakes. Mistakes mean you're learning and growing." Emma felt a weight lift. Her fear of error had been holding her back. "Try one full English day," Michael challenged her. "Speak, think, and act only in English." Emma accepted, excited yet nervous to try this challenge. With Michael's tips, she created a routine, practicing small phrases daily. She felt her confidence growing, each phrase feeling smoother, more natural. Michael's encouragement made all the difference. She realized she didn't have to do this alone. She had support. That evening, she reflected on their conversation, feeling grateful and motivated. Michael's mentorship felt like a turning point, a guiding light on her journey. Emma now knew she wasn't alone on her path to fluency. With Michael's guidance, she saw her dream of speaking like a native becoming more achievable each day. Chapter 4. Building Daily Habits. Could small daily actions be the key to fluency? Emma committed to practicing English daily, even if just 10 minutes. She understood that consistency mattered more than perfection. Every morning, she listened to English podcasts while getting ready. Hearing native speakers set a positive tone for her day. Michael's advice echoed. Speak to yourself. She practiced sentences aloud, narrating her morning routine in English. Emma changed her phone and computer settings to English. She started noticing new words and phrases every day. Emma watched cooking tutorials in English, combining learning with enjoyment. It was easier to stay motivated with content she loved. Each day, she challenged herself to learn 5 new words. She focused on words she'd actually use, making learning more relevant. At night, Emma reflected on her day in English. She'd ask herself, what went well today? Practicing thoughts without switching languages. These routines became second nature, making English a constant presence. Each small habit brought her one step closer to fluency. Emma celebrated small wins, understanding a podcast or finishing a book. These victories fueled her motivation, reminding her of her progress. Emma felt a transformation. Her daily habits, though simple, had powerful effects. Fluency no longer felt like an impossible dream. As her routine grew, so did her confidence in speaking. She felt braver each day, her words flowing more naturally. Emma smiled, realizing how far she'd come. Her daily habits weren't just routines. They were building blocks to her dream of fluency. Emma discovered that fluency wasn't about big leaps, but small, steady steps. Her daily habits brought English into every corner of her life, making her dream feel closer and more achievable each day. Chapter 5. Overcoming the fear of mistakes. Emma's biggest barrier wasn't grammar, it was the fear of failing. Emma realized her biggest hurdle was fearing mistakes when speaking. This fear made her hesitate, questioning every word before she spoke. She noticed how perfectionism held her back from real progress. Fluency won't come if I wait for perfect English, she thought. Emma confided in Michael, sharing her fear of sounding foolish. Michael nodded knowingly, understanding how fear can paralyze new learners. He told her, mistakes are signs you're actually learning. His words resonated deeply, shifting her perspective on failure. Emma decided to embrace mistakes as part of the journey. She began seeing errors as opportunities rather than setbacks. She started speaking without overthinking, letting words flow naturally. Each time she misspoke, she reminded herself, this is progress. Emma joined English meetups to practice without fear of judgment. The relaxed environment helped her speak more openly, embracing every mistake. When she made a mistake, she'd smile and continue. This small act turned her errors into lighter, positive experiences. Emma noticed her confidence growing with each unfiltered conversation. Her fear began to fade as speaking became easier, more enjoyable. Every error felt like a step closer to her goal. Mistakes aren't failures. They're my guidepost to fluency, she thought proudly. As her fear lifted, Emma felt her English flow naturally. The words came smoother, her mind clear and free from self-doubt. Emma's journey felt different now. She had overcome her biggest barrier, not grammar or vocabulary, but the fear of imperfection. Emma's newfound confidence changed everything. By embracing mistakes, She found the freedom to express herself, realizing that fluency wasn't about being perfect, but being brave enough to speak. Chapter 6. Total Immersion, New Experiences in English. Emma was ready to dive into English, her comfort zone left behind. Emma committed to living in English, no translations, no shortcuts. She knew it was time to step beyond simple routines and embrace a full immersion. She changed her entertainment to English movies, music, books. Surrounding herself with native sounds and expressions became her new norm. Emma adjusted her home, placing English phrases on walls and objects. Every item now prompted a thought in English, immersing her senses. To practice speaking, Emma joined English-only conversation groups. Here, she had to rely on her growing skills in real-time exchanges. From ordering food to casual chats, Emma practiced everywhere. Each interaction, whether small or big, was an opportunity to immerse herself. Emma connected with other learners and native speakers. Sharing her journey with them built a community of support and accountability. She attempted activities like English-speaking events and cooking classes. These experiences made her use English naturally, without overthinking. Immersion gave Emma a deeper understanding of English-speaking cultures. She started appreciating expressions, slang, and humor as part of the language. One day, she solved an unexpected issue at a store all in English. This small victory boosted her confidence, showing her progress. Every day, she made mistakes, but learned from each one. Emma saw immersion as a journey of growth, not perfection. With each conversation, Emma felt more at ease in English. It no longer felt foreign. It was becoming part of her everyday life. One evening, she reflected, realizing English now felt like home. Her journey wasn't just about language. It was about belonging, understanding, and confidence. Through total immersion, Emma found a new world within English. She felt fulfilled, knowing she'd embraced every experience, every challenge. Now, English wasn't just a skill. It was part of her identity. Chapter 7. Improving Pronunciation. Emma realized fluency wasn't just words, it was how they sounded. Emma knew pronunciation was essential to sound natural in English. She wanted her words to be clear, authentic, and confident. Emma began by focusing on individual English sounds. She practiced vowels, consonants, and tricky combinations to create a strong foundation. She listened to native speakers, repeating phrases to match their rhythm. Mimicking helped her capture the natural flow of English. Tongue twisters became her daily exercise to strengthen pronunciation. Phrases like "she sells seashells" helped her improve speed and clarity. Emma learned the art of stressing syllables to sound more natural. She practiced with short sentences, focusing on the melody of each phrase. Emma recorded herself speaking and listened for improvements. Hearing her own voice helped her spot small errors and adjust accordingly. She practiced connecting words like native speakers, blending sounds naturally. This made her speech sound smoother, like real conversations. Movies and podcasts became her guide to authentic pronunciation. She observed actors, repeating lines to capture subtle pronunciation cues. Emma asked friends to correct her pronunciation in casual chats. Their feedback helped her make real-time improvements, gaining confidence. She explored different English accents to expand her knowledge. This helped her adapt her pronunciation to different contexts. Each time she pronounced a difficult word correctly, she celebrated. These small victories kept her motivated and eager to keep improving. Over time, Emma's pronunciation grew smoother and more authentic. She felt a new confidence, her voice clear and strong in English. Emma realized pronunciation was more than sounds, it was expression. Her journey in pronunciation wasn't just about clarity. It was about speaking English with heart, making each word truly her own. Chapter 8. Thinking in English, Breaking the Mental Barrier. Emma's last challenge. Freeing her mind from translations and doubts. Emma noticed she often translated before speaking. This mental step slowed her down, making her feel disconnected from fluent English. Stop translating, Michael encouraged her. Start thinking directly in English. His words stayed with her, marking the next phase of her journey. Emma began with small thoughts in English, narrating her day. "I'm making breakfast," she'd say mentally, a simple but effective practice. When feeling happy or tired, she described it in English. This small shift helped her connect emotions directly to English words. In her mind, she made grocery lists, planned tasks, all in English. Slowly, English became the language of her thoughts, not just her speech. She pictured words in English, linking them to real images. Apple was now an image, not a translation from Spanish. Emma found herself less afraid of mistakes in thought. Here, she was free to explore without judgment, creating a safe mental space. She started having conversations with herself in English. Her mind flowed naturally, imagining responses and reactions. Emma challenged herself with deeper topics, like dreams or goals. Thinking about big ideas in English expanded her comfort zone. Soon, she began to dream in English, a surreal experience. English wasn't just a skill anymore, it was part of her subconscious. Thinking directly in English gave her an unexpected liberation. She was no longer trapped in translations. Her thoughts matched her speech. One day, Emma realized she hadn't translated in days. Her mind flowed, her words matched her ideas, and she felt fully connected to English. Emma had broken the final barrier, her mental one. By thinking in English, she embraced fluency on a new level. She wasn't just speaking English. She was living it free and fluent, finally speaking like a native in both voice and mind. Chapter 9. The Power of Small Victories. Emma's journey wasn't just one big win, it was countless little triumphs. Emma realized her progress was built on tiny daily achievements. Each small victory brought her closer to fluency and boosted her confidence. Understanding a podcast without subtitles felt like a major success. Small moments like these showed her growth and fueled her motivation. One day, a tourist asked for directions in English. Emma responded smoothly, surprising herself a real-life victory that felt huge. She finished her first English novel, understanding nearly every word. This accomplishment reassured her that fluency was within reach. Casual chats no longer felt intimidating or forced. Each conversation flowed more naturally, marking her progress and boosting her confidence. English wasn't just a skill, it was part of her routine. This shift made her realize that she was truly living the language. Emma ordered food, asked questions, and handled small tasks with ease. These daily successes reinforced her belief in her abilities. Her friends noticed her confidence and praised her fluency. Their encouragement felt like a powerful validation of her hard work. Emma thought back to her early struggles and fears. The progress she'd made, step by step, filled her with pride. She saw that fluency wasn't an overnight achievement. Every small success reminded her that persistence was key. With each victory, her self-doubt faded, replaced by pride. She no longer worried about perfection. Instead, she valued growth. Emma smiled, realizing these small wins created a lasting change. She felt grateful for every step, every victory, big or small. Emma's journey to fluency was built on moments of courage, resilience, and gratitude. Each small victory gave her strength, showing her that fluency wasn't just a destination, it was a journey filled with milestones, each one making her a more confident, fluent English speaker. Chapter 10. The Final Test. Speaking fluently in a presentation. Emma's biggest challenge was here: could she finally speak fluently? Emma's manager asked her to lead an important presentation. This was her chance to show how far she'd come, but her nerves crept in. She reminded herself of every practice, every small victory. Each step had prepared her for this exact moment. Instead of perfection, she focused on delivering a clear message. She knew that communication mattered more than flawless grammar. Emma pictured herself speaking confidently, her words flowing smoothly. She saw herself connecting with her audience, calm and assured. She planned to make eye contact, speak slowly, and stay calm. These small goals kept her focused and helped ease her nerves. Emma accepted her unique accent, no longer fearing judgment. She knew fluency was about connection, not erasing her identity. Standing in front of her colleagues, she inhaled deeply. The room quieted, and Emma felt ready to share her message. Her voice was steady, her words clear and natural. She felt the confidence she'd built over months of practice. As she continued, her nerves faded, replaced by calm focus. Each phrase brought her closer to the fluency she'd dreamed of. Emma saw nods, smiles, and interest from her audience. Their engagement confirmed that she was speaking with true fluency. When questions arose, she responded naturally, her thoughts organized. For the first time, she felt fully comfortable in English. Emma's presentation ended with applause, a wave of pride washing over her. She had done it. She'd spoken fluently, with clarity and confidence. Emma realized that fluency wasn't about perfection, but connection and confidence. Her journey was complete, Her dream achieved, she was speaking English like a native, not just in words, but in spirit. Emma felt grateful, empowered, and ready for every future challenge, knowing she had become truly fluent. Chapter 11. Reflection and Lessons Learned. Emma's journey had ended, but the impact would last a lifetime. Emma thought about every struggle, every small victory along the way. Her path to fluency had been challenging, yet deeply rewarding. She understood that fluency required patience, not just talent. Each step, each effort, had brought her closer to her goal. Emma realized mistakes weren't setbacks, they were lessons. Learning from them had built her confidence and resilience. Her daily routines had transformed English into a natural part of life. Small, consistent actions had made all the difference. Each little success had fueled her motivation and kept her going. These victories were more powerful than any one big achievement. Emma no longer translated. English had become second nature. Her thoughts flowed directly, giving her a newfound sense of freedom. Michael's advice and encouragement had been invaluable on her journey. His insights helped her overcome barriers she once thought impossible. Emma embraced her accent, seeing it as part of her identity. Fluency was about expression, not erasing who she was. Emma knew she would keep growing, keep learning. Fluency wasn't a final destination. It was a lifelong commitment. She wanted others to see that they, too, could achieve fluency. Her story became a message of hope for other learners. Emma felt grateful for every struggle, every success. Her journey had taught her courage, patience, and the power of belief. Standing confidently, Emma knew English was now part of her soul. Her voice, her thoughts, her spirit, all fluent, all free. Emma's journey showed her that fluency wasn't just about language, it was about resilience, identity, and courage. She had achieved her dream, not through perfection, but through persistence and heart. Now, she looked to the future with confidence, ready to face any challenge, knowing she had truly become fluent, not just in English, but in herself. Conclusion. Mastering English speaking skills is a journey that takes time, dedication, and perseverance. While the path to fluency can seem challenging, staying committed to your goal will lead to remarkable progress. Set achievable goals, celebrate small wins, and be kind to yourself as you grow. Every tip and strategy shared here is designed to support your language improvement, step by step. Remember, each small effort brings you closer to fluency. Practice consistently, embrace the process, and enjoy the little milestones along the way. Keep practicing, keep learning, and savor the rewarding journey of mastering English speaking skills. Your dedication will pay off, and soon you'll communicate with confidence and ease. Thank you, and best of luck on your language learning journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated with more content from Immerse in English.